The Senate in the second regular session of the 12th Congress is hereby called to order. Please remain standing for the prayer. Please bow our heads and let's pray. Merciful Lord and Father, thank you for the privilege of gathering in this chamber to honor the trust placed in us by the Filipino people. Always remind us that service to the nation, fidelity to the Constitution, and humility before your will should guide all that we do. Alagaan mo ang aming mga kababayan, lalo na ang mga pamilyang naapektuhan ng malakas na pag-ulan at pagbaha. Panatilihin mo silang ligtas at iparamdam mo sa kanila ang iyong kalinga. Mahal na Panginoon, pinagkakatiwala namin sa iyo ang aming kinabukasan at landas ng aming bansa. Keep our sights set on the common good with an unwavering commitment to what is fair and just for all. This we pray in your holy name. Amen. The LPU Harmonic Chorale will lead us in the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. The group will also render a song entitled Tayo'y Mga Pinoy.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiin. Sa magat at bundok, sa simoy, sa langit bumaga, may lilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng matawat may tagumpay na nagdilingding, ang bituin at tarang niyang kailan, ang may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na luwal, atit pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Mads, maraming salamat po. Sa LPU Harmonic Chorale, the Secretary will please call the roll.
Call up members. The Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Go, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto III, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Senate President Gatchalian.
With 19 senators present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this very rainy Monday afternoon, we have no guests. Siguro nabaha po sila.
Lato, baha.
Wala po tayong guests
Oo
today.
nga. For the first time. In
So,
fact,
for the
yung
first time,
VIP gallery natin, Majority Leader, empty na empty.
walang tao. Mukhang tayo nagsasakripisyo, mga senador at
Para
staff
sa bayan.
ng Senado, para sa bayan. Well, for the information of everyone, Mr. President, our colleagues as well as our staff, I think they're waiting for us to say this. We will have a quick session today. Third reading lang po tayo ng isang item. And then we will have a reference of business para ma-refer na sa mga committees yung mga nakapending na first reading. And then we adjourn, Mr. President.
Yes.
So it'll be a very
Yes.
quick
And
session
just to
today.
inform the body and the staff that we have already communicated with everyone that we will leave work 1 hour early at 4 p.m. today.
Yes.
In
Maybe even earlier, Mr. President.
Yes,
Baka
depending-
3:30. Kaya na
Yeah,
tayo
depending on
matapos.
how fast we finish the
At 3
reference of
o'clock,
business.
20 minutes, baka mahirapan tayo. We will try, sir. Mr. President, with that, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 8th session, Wednesday, August 12, 2026, and consider the same as approved.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we also approve on third reading Senate Bill number 1511 and ask the Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, consideration of Senate Bill number 1511 on third reading is in order. The Secretary is directed to read the title of the measure and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act strengthening the protection of patients against hospital detention on grounds of non-payment of hospital bills or medical expenses and providing stiffer penalties for violations thereof. Amending for the purpose RA 9439, entitled An Act Prohibiting the Detention of Patients in Hospitals and Medical Clinics on grounds of non-payment of hospital bills or medical expenses. Roll call vote. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Escudero, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Go, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Senate President Gatchalian.
Yes. With 19 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, SB number 1511 is approved on third reading. Congratulations to the sponsor, Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Yes, congratulations po. This is the
Hospital
anti-hospital
detention bill.
detention bill. Di na pwedeng palit ulo, di na rin pwedeng hostage. May we
Correct.
recognize Mr. President to explain our vote? Our distinguished colleague, we have two
Yes,
members or
we
yes, sir.
we recognize Senator
Just a point of clarification,
Lacson.
how was my vote counted on second reading, Mr. President?
On second reading.
Yeah, the previous second reading. No,
Affirmative.
second reading.
It was counted as affirmative.
Yeah, I would just like to change my vote to abstain with the disclosure that I am a founding member of a local hospital in Cavite.
This is on second reading, Senator.
Second
Just
reading.
to clarify.
Change to abstention, Mr. President.
But on the third reading,
Same.
abstention also.
Abstention.
All right, so corrected.
What is-
So
No conflict of interest.
for today's vote, it will be 18 affirmative votes, 0 negative, 1 abstention for SB number 1511.
And just to clarify, Mr. President,
So
the good
corrected.
gentleman from Cavite is abstaining, so there's no conflict of interest.
Correct,
Wala pong conflict of interest. So he's doing the right thing when doing that, Mr. President.
correct. So we so recorded for the second reading vote as well as the third reading vote.
We have a few members who wish to explain their vote. May I recognize Senator Rafi Tulfo? Mr.
We
President.
recognize the gentleman from
Isabela.
Davao City and Isabela, Senator Rafi Tulfo.
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, I rise today to explain my affirmative vote on Senate Bill number 1511 and to express my full support for this measure. Bilang co-author ng panukalang ito, nais nating tiyakin na walang pasyente ang mapipilitang manatili sa ospital dahil lamang sa hindi mabayarang hospital bill. Lalo na ang ating mga magagawa na sa bawat araw na hindi makabalik sa trabaho ay nawawalan din ng kita. Mr. President, halos araw-araw ay may lumalapit sa aking programa at opisina dahil hindi makalabas ng ospital ang kanilang kaanak dahil sa hindi mabayarang hospital bill. In some cases, kahit ang katawan ng namatay ay hindi rin mailabas. May karapatan ng ospital na maningil, of course, pero may tamang paraan para gawin ito. Ang pasyente ay hindi collateral at ang kanyang kalayaan at hanap buhay ay hindi dapat gawing collection mechanism. This is why I likewise propose the inclusion of a tax deduction for hospitals and medical clinics, wherein we protect the patient while providing hospitals a reasonable mechanism to recover or account for the financial burden. Mr. President, simple lang ang layunin ng panukalang ito. Singilin ang dapat singilin, tulungan ang walang kakayang magbayad, pero wag na wag gawing hostage ang pasyente dahil may balance pa sa bill. For these reasons, I vote yes on Senate Bill number 1511. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Maraming salamat, Senator Rafi Tulfo. Next will be to explain their votes, Senator Erwin Tulfo, the gentleman from Palawan.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo. Nais ko rin po pasalamatan ang ating pong sponsor, si Senador Risa Ontiveros. Tama po yun, dahil ako po ay ang aking tanggapan, araw-araw po, may dumudulog po tumihingi ng tulong. Maging dito po sa atin sa Senado, yung ating pong Action Center po dyan, halos araw-araw may humihingi po ng medical assistance na dahil po alang pambayad, kailangan po ng tulong. So napapanahon na po na meron tayong kahalintulad na batas. Kasi nga po usong-uso ito pong ika nga hospital detention na tila hino-hostage po yung ika nga mga pasyente. Kung hindi po, lalo na po yung mga bagong panganak, ipinaiiwan po yung kanilang sanggol at binabalikan na lang po ng mga ina at para magpadede po doon sa ika nga ospital. Everyday po yun. Yung iba naman po ang malungkot din po ng mga nangyayari, Ginoong Pangulo. Yung mga bangkay po, hindi po i-release hanggat wala pong bayad, which I believe, Ginoong Pangulo, ay hindi naman po tama. Dapat po, sapat na po yung may promissory note at yung iba po ay hinihingan po ng mga collateral. Okay lang po yung collateral, wag lang naman po yun sana yung mga gamit nila para panghanap buhay tulad po ng mga lupain sa pagsasaka o kanilang mga motorsiklo, na sila po ay delivery rider, wag naman ho sana. Siguro po, isa pang magandang tignan po natin na baka po, dahil malaki na po ang budget ng Department of Health ng MAIP, pwede po nating pwede silang maningil po dyan sa ating pamahalaan. Pero muli po, yan po ang aking boto. Ako po bumuboto sa ayon po dyan na wag na pong iditine yung mga pasyente. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Maraming salamat, Senator Erwin Tulfo. Next will be, of course, the principal sponsor and principal author of the bill, Senator Risa Hontiveros.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, magandang hapon. Kahit mahabagat at mabahang hapon po. I rise to manifest my full support for the passage on third reading of Senate Bill number 1511, the Enhanced Anti-Hospital Detention Act. I thank our co-authors and colleagues who helped strengthen this measure. Senators Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, Erwin Tulfo, Joel Villanueva, Robin Hood Padilla, Rafi Tulfo, Kiko Pangilinan, Pia Cayetano, Senate President Pro Tempore Tito Soto, and Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian. Maraming salamat sa inyong mga intervensyon at amendments that helped us improve and strengthen the bill. At the heart of this measure is a very simple principle. Hindi dapat maging bilangguan ang ospital dahil lamang walang pambayad ang pasyente. Kapag medically fit nang umuwi ang isang pasyente, hindi dapat gawing kondisyon ng kanyang paglabas ang kakayahan niyang bayaran agad ang kanyang hospital bill. At lalong hindi dapat i-hostage ang kanyang medical records, personal belongings, o maging ang labi ng isang namatay dahil lamang may natitira pang bayarin. But as principal author and sponsor, I also want to place on record an important clarification because there is misinformation circulating about this bill. May nagsasabing kapag naipasa ito, pwede na raw basta umalis ang lahat ng pasyente nang hindi nagbabayad. Ibabawas na lamang daw ng ospital sa buwis niya, ibabayad nito sa gobyerno ang lahat ng hindi nakolektang utang. At sa huli, gobyerno ang sasagot sa lahat ng hospital bills. Hindi po iyan ang panukalang batas na ipinapasa natin. First, this bill does not cancel a patient's unpaid obligation. For financially incapable patients, the bill provides for a promissory note which may be secured through mechanisms expressly provided in the law: a mortgage, a contract of guarantee, a deed of assignment of SSS or GSIS loan proceeds or benefits, or guarantee letters from the PCSO, DSWD, or DOH. For qualified indigent patients, mayroon pa ring proper assessment and endorsement at kinakailangan ang sapat na guarantee letter mula sa DOH o DSWD. So, this is not a license to simply walk away from a debt. Ang sinasabi natin, singilin ang dapat singilin sa paraang naaayon sa batas. Pero huwag ikulong ang pasyente sa ospital dahil wala siyang pambayad agad. Second, on the tax provision introduced, to which there was no objection from the chamber, Hindi rin ito blanket tax write-off ng lahat ng unpaid hospital bills. The provision applies only to the qualifying unpaid balance of a financially incapacitated patient after PhilHealth and other government health assistance benefits have already been deducted and where the balance is guaranteed to facilitate the patient's discharge. Hindi ito automatic. Hindi ito basta-basta. Dadaan pa rin ito sa tamang proseso at sa implementing guidelines ng mga kinauukulang ahensya. And to be very clear, Mr. President, nowhere in this bill does it say that government automatically assumes every unpaid hospital bill. Third, may nagsasabi ring bibigyan daw nito ng lisensya ang mga ospital na magpalobo ng kanilang singil. Again, the bill says the opposite. It requires full transparency in healthcare costs and billing and expressly prohibits hidden or unauthorized charges. Kung may pangamba sa pang-aabuso, ang sagot ay safeguards, transparency, and accountability, not detention. In fact, this bill strengthens accountability. Where illegal detention results from an established hospital policy or management instruction, responsible directors or officers may face fines of 500,000 to 1 million pesos, imprisonment of 4 to 6 years, or both. The measure also establishes a patient grievance and redress mechanism, requires prompt action on complaints, and mandates clear patient discharge protocols in our healthcare facilities. Mr. President, we recognize that hospitals have every right to be paid for legitimate services rendered. We also recognize that our hospitals must remain financially sustainable so they can continue providing care. But hospital sustainability and patient rights are not opposing choices. The answer to unpaid medical debt cannot be to hold a patient, a newborn baby, a family member, or the remains of a loved one against their will. Ang utang ay maaaring singilin, pero ang dignidad at kalayaan ng tao ay hindi maaaring gawing kolateral. That is the balance this measure seeks to strike, protecting patients from detention while preserving lawful mechanisms for hospitals to recover legitimate obligations. Sa panahon na ang pagkakasakit mismo ay sapat ng mabigat na pasanin sa isang pamilya, hindi na natin dapat dagdagan pa ito ng takot na baka hindi sila makauwi dahil wala silang perang maibayad agad. I therefore vote yes to the Enhanced Anti-Hospital Detention Act, and I thank our colleagues for doing the same. Sa dulo, walang Pilipino ang dapat maging bihag ng hospital bill. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Senator Risa, for those clarifications. Importante ho na bigyan diin na ang bill na ito ay hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ho babayaran yung utang. Bagkus tutulungan ho sila ng gobyerno at bibigyan ng palugit para mabayaran yung utang. Dahil kasama rin ho natin at kapartner rin natin yung mga private hospitals, especially doon sa mga far-flung areas na wala pong government hospitals. Kaya maraming salamat doon sa pagbibigay diin. We recognize the gentleman from Bulacan, Senator Joel Villanueva.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, just to put on record that this representation intends to just submit and insert into the records my affirmative vote on this particular measure. And likewise, let me congratulate our colleague, Senator Risa Ontiveros, for successfully not only shepherding, Mr. President, this very important measure, but also in ensuring that our kababayans will be protected. We have gone through a lot of complaints, Mr. President, not only in our office, even our district offices all over the country, Mr. President. We have experienced a lot of complaints regarding this particular problem that our kababayans are facing. So with that, Mr. President, I congratulate not only Senator Risa, but also our colleagues, the entire Senate, for putting our acts together to end this problem, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat. Katulad po ninyo sa Valenzuela, nagkaroon din ho kami ng masamang karanasan tungkol sa palit-ulo. At iyan din po ang isang dahilan kung bakit ho rin tayo nag-file ng anti-hospital detention bill para po hindi na mangyari yan sa ating mga kababayan.
Mr. President, we next to be recognized, and I forgot to recognize him earlier, is our birthday boy.
Oh, okay.
Celebrating his birthday today. No other than the very young, able-bodied, and capable senator from Las Piñas,
Yes.
Senator Mark Villar. Happy
Yes.
birthday, sir.
Happy birthday to the gentleman from Las Piñas, Senator Mark Villar.
Able-bodied. Thank you for able-bodied and capable. Salamat. Ano pa? Mr. President, I rise to explain my yes vote on Senate Bill number 1151, the act prohibiting the detention of patients in hospitals and medical clinics on the grounds of non-payment of hospital bills or medical expense. Mr. President, this bill will provide for stiffer penalties for medical facilities and hospitals who illegally detain relatives, representatives, as well as to the newborn child in the case of maternity parents, in lieu for the patient to be allowed to leave. Mr. President, while we already have Republic Act number 9439 enacted in 2007 that explicitly prohibits illegal detention, there are still facilities who illegally detain relatives and worse, human remains. Marami po tayong natatanggap na report ng ating mga kababayan na pinipilit na manatili sa ospital dahil hindi makabayad ng bill. Ang mga kababayan na walang kakayahang makapagbayad ng lumobong hospital bill ang tanging mga nagiging biktima nito. Mr. President, our fellow Filipinos should not be subjected to this inhumane and humiliating practice. As such, we are grateful to our colleagues and to this bill's sponsor, Senator Risa Ontiveros, who actively lobbied for this bill to ensure that medical facilities will be dealt with stronger penalties that will refrain them from committing this practice against the poor and the marginalized. This representation strongly supports the enactment of this bill, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Majority Leader.
I believe Senator Bongo also would like to be recognized.
Yes, we recognize Senator Bongo for his explanation of votes.
Mr. President, I wish to place on record my affirmative vote and support for Senate Bill 1511, which seeks to strengthen the protection of patients against hospital detention on grounds of non-payment of hospital bills and medical expenses. In 2007, Republic Act 9439 was enacted to stop the practice of detaining patients or refusing their discharge from confinement for their inability to pay for their medical expenses. The law prohibits the practice of refusing to release the cadaver of a patient with unpaid bills to their families. The law covers patients who stayed during their confinement in a non-private room or charity ward. While we have a law in place, the practice of detaining patients is still pervasive. Marami pa ring pamilya ng pasyente ang humihingi ng tulong dahil ayaw palabasin sa ospital ang kanilang mga kamag-anak kahit may promissory note na po na iniiwan at iba't ibang collateral. This has to stop or sana po'y mabigyan po ito ng solusyon. We understand that the payment of hospital bills is a valid concern on the part of the hospital, but detaining a patient worsens the problem as the extended stay will only make hospital bills grow even higher. Mas lumalaki po ang bill, pumapatak po ang billing ng pasyente sa araw-araw na nakadetain po siya doon sa hospital. We are glad to have co-authored or co-sponsored the measure which will now extend the protection against hospital detention to all patients, including those who are constrained to stay in private rooms, whether by medical necessity, availability of rooms, or other circumstances beyond their control. So ibig po sabihin nito, yung mga napilitan pong pumili sa private room dahil puno na po yung charity ward. Sila po yung dapat na mai-cover dito sa batas, kung sakaling may isa batas po ito. Kasabay nito, umaasa tayo na ang panukalang ito ay magiging katuwang ng iba pang mga programa ng pamahalaan tulad ng pag-expand po sa packages ng PhilHealth. Meron naman pong pera ang PhilHealth kung tutuusin. Totoo lamang po, wala namang excess funds ang PhilHealth. Dapat po'y gamitin ang pondo ng PhilHealth, lalong-lalo na po sa mga mahirap nating kababayan na wala pong ibang matakbuhan kundi tayong nasa gobyerno. Sana po wala nang pasyenteng matatakot magpa-ospital dahil walang pambayad at wala nang pamilyang mangambang hindi makauwi ang kanilang mahal sa buhay dahil lamang sa kakulangan sa pambayad. We congratulate the sponsor, Senator Risa Ontiveros, for pushing this measure at salamat rin po sa ating mga kasamahan dito sa Senado. Thank you, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Senator Bongo, sa iyong pagsuporta dito sa mahalagang panukalang ito.
Thank you very much. Once again, congratulations to the sponsors and the authors of the measure. Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The Secretary will now read the items in the reference of business.
Bills on first reading, Senate number 2269, an act strengthening the safety and welfare of student athletes during competitions, practices, training, and other school sanctioned activities. Amending RA 10676, Senator Ejercito.
Refer to the Committees on Basic Education and Sports.
2270, amending RA 11697, the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act, and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Refer to the Committees on Energy, Public Services, and Ways and Means.
2271, upgrading the position of sanitation inspector to a higher salary grade, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Tulfo R.
Refer to the Committees on Health and Demography, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
2273, increasing the income tax exemption threshold for individual taxpayers to 400,000 annually, amending Section 24 of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Refer to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2274, preserving the indigenous sports and games of the Philippines, promoting their practice and development for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Refer to the Committees on Culture and the Arts and Sports.
2275, institutionalizing the grant of student loan discount, privilege, and mobile internet services, and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Refer to the Committees on Basic Education, Public Services, and Ways and Means.
2276, promoting and integrating original Filipino music in hospitality, tourism, and transportation industries, providing incentives therefore, Senator Tulfo E.
Refer to the Committees on Culture and the Arts and Tourism.
2277, establishing a national elementary school in Tumana, 2nd District of Marikina, to be known as Tumana National Elementary School, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
Refer to the Committees on Rules.
2278, establishing a national high school in Tumana, Marikina, to be known as Tumana National High School, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
Refer to the Committee on Rules.
2279, promoting the development of the bamboo industry by strengthening the Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Council, creating the Bamboo Industry Research and Development Center, providing incentives for bamboo plantation development, and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Legarda.
Refer to the Committees on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2280, mandating Philippine consular offices and services attaches abroad to operate on at least 2 weekend days a month to enable overseas Filipinos to transact business without loss of income, Senator Tulfo R.
Refer to the Committees on Foreign Relations, Migrant Workers, and Finance.
2281, providing for the National Reintegration Framework for Persons Restored of Liberty, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Soto III.
Refer to the Committees on Justice and Human Rights, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2282, restructuring the Energy Regulatory Commission, amending sections 38, 39, 40, 41, 43, 44, and 46, and repealing section 42 of RA 9136, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, Senator Tulfo R.
Refer to the Committees on Energy, Public Services, and Finance.
2283, providing equal access to public cemeteries for Muslim Filipinos, indigenous peoples, and other denominations, appointing funds therefore, Senator Padilla.
Refer to the Committees on Cultural Communities, Local Government, and Finance.
2284, providing for cheaper and more accessible internet for all, Senator Aquino.
Refer to the Committees on Public Services and Science and Technology.
Senate number 2285, amending RA 9514, the Fire Code of the Philippines of 2008 to strengthen due process, accountability, and ease of doing business in fire safety enforcement, Senator Aquino.
Refer to the Committees on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Local Government, and Ways and Means.
2286, declaring the entire Sierra Madre Mountain Range as strict protection zone, strengthening its conservation to the creation of the Sierra Madre Conservation Authority and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Cultural Communities, and Muslim Affairs, and Finance.
2287, mandating the submission of a tree planting plan as requirement in the application for building permits. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Local Government.
2288, amending Section 21 of RA 7942, the Philippine Mining Act of 1995. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change.
2289, establishing the National Coastal Greenbelt Program, providing funds therefore. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Finance.
2290, mandating the establishment of mangrove buffer zones in development projects throughout the Philippines. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Tourism, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2291, providing for the delineation of the specific forest limits of the public domain and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Local Government, and Finance.
2292, providing for the issuance of a list of low-lying areas of the Philippine territory vulnerable to rising sea levels as a result of climate change and areas at high risk for natural disasters, mandating that DNR, DOST, Philippine Space Agency, Climate Change Commission, and other concerned government agencies for its regular updating, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Finance.
2293, instituting a national land use policy, providing for the implementing mechanisms, creating for the purpose the National Land Use Commission, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Finance.
2294, converting the Mabini Community Hospital in Mabini, Batangas into a specialty hospital to be known as the Batangas Tourism Specialty Hospital, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Pangilinan.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography, and Finance.
2295, strengthening discipline and professionalism within the military by returning to General Courts Martial the jurisdiction over certain offenses involving members of the AFP and other persons subject to military law, repealing RA 7055. Senator Soto III.
Referred to the Committee on National Defense and Security, Peace and Unification, and Reconciliation.
Senate number 2296, instituting a duty for the safe storage of firearms and penalizing the negligent failure to secure the same, amending RA 10591, the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. Senator Soto III.
Referred to the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
2297, institutionalizing the kabuhayan at kaunlaran ng kababayang katutubo of the DA for the agriculture, fisheries development of ancestral domains, and the promotion of sustainable livelihood opportunities for indigenous cultural communities, indigenous peoples, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Cultural Communities, and Muslim Affairs, and Finance.
2298, establishing a comprehensive framework for teacher support, fair student discipline, and safe learning environments in public basic education institutions, providing mechanisms for legal assistance, professional development, and accountability, and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committees on Basic Education, Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, and Finance.
2299, regulating the use of social media platforms by minors, imposing age restrictions, providing penalties for violations, and for other purposes. Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media, and Science and Technology.
2300, regulating the manufacturing, importation, and use of single-use plastic products and providing penalties, levies, and incentives for industries, business enterprises, and consumers thereof. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2301, establishing a ban on the importation of solid waste, providing penalties, and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
2302, amending sections 5G and 112A4 and inserting a new section 5A in RA 9514, the Fire Code of the Philippines, establishing a risk-based approach and post-renewal for fire safety compliance mechanism for business permits. Senator Lacson.
Referred to the Committees on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, and Local Government.
2303, declaring a parcel of land located in the municipalities of Maria Aurora, Baler, San Luis, and Dingalan in Aurora and Bongabon, Nueva Ecija, a protected area with the category protected landscape under the NIPAS to be referred to as the Aurora Memorial Protected Landscape, providing for its management, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo-R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Finance.
2304, declaring a parcel of land in Sultan Naga Dimaporo, Lanao del Norte, a protected area with the category of protected landscape and seascape under the NIPAS to be referred to as the Sultan Naga Dimaporo Protected Landscape and Seascape, providing for its management, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change and Finance.
2305, institutionalizing the no work, no pay principle in compensation of public officials and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to the Committee on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
2306, recognizing, protecting, and promoting the rights of Filipino family, creating a National Commission of Filipino Family, establishing implementing mechanisms, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Soto III.
Referred to the Committees on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
2307, strengthening access of minors living with HIV to antiretroviral therapy and other HIV-related treatment, care, and support services, ensuring full health coverage, premium subsidy, and confidential benefit availment for minors and young adults living with HIV, amending RA 11166, the Philippine HIV and AIDS Policy Act, Senator Ontiveros.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2308, regulating noise pollution by creating the Noise Pollution Control Board, providing funds therefore, Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change and Finance.
2309, creating the Philippine Rice Development Authority, defining its powers and functions, providing funds therefore, Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change and Finance.
2310, transferring certain regulatory functions of the Food and Drug Administration to other regulatory agencies, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulations, Health and Demography and Finance.
2311, strengthening the charter of the Philippine Normal University, declaring it as a national university for teacher education, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committees on Higher and Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2312, institutionalizing the Presidential Merit Scholarship Program, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committees on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education and Finance.
2313, institutionalizing the career progression and specialization program and credit accumulation and transfer system, establishing the CPSP CATS Committee, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
2314, increasing the amount of compensation for victims of unjust imprisonment or detention and victims of violent crimes, appropriating funds therefore, amending RA 7309, Senator Soto III.
Referred to the Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Finance.
2315, establishing a comprehensive framework for the development, promotion, and protection of the Philippine ube industry, declaring ube as a national priority crop, regulating the Philippine Ube Industry Council, providing for quality standards and geographic indication protection, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villar C.
Referred to the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and Ways and Means and Finance.
2316, establishing a regional cleft palate and craniofacial centers, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villar C.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography, Ways and Means and Finance.
2317, converting the Mabini Community Hospital in Mabini, Batangas into a specialty hospital to be known as the Batangas Tourism Specialty Hospital, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2318, converting the Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology into the Nueva Ecija State University, expanding and rationalizing its curricular offerings, strengthening its governance, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committees on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means and Finance.
2319, renaming the Connor District Hospital in Connor, Apayao to Apayao General Hospital and Medical Center, Senator Aquino.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2320, institutionalizing the first 1,000 days grant, amending for the purpose Section 7 of RA 11310, the Pantawid Filipino Program for Peace Act, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development and Economic Affairs.
2321, enhancing threat and risk prevention, safety operation, and rapid emergency response of basic learning institutions, providing funds therefore, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Basic Education, Local Government and Finance.
2322, providing for the holistic care, safety, and protection of student athletes, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Basic Education and Higher Technical and Vocational Education.
2323, declaring ube, commonly known as purple yam, as the national root crop of the Philippines, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform. Additional. Sarap ang ube. Ito ba yan? Okay.
Additional reference to business, bills on first reading, Senate number 2324, upgrading the Rojas Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lanat, Rojas, Capiz into a level 3 general hospital. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2325, designating Mati Airport in Davao Oriental as the official alternate airport to the Davao International Airport, appropriate funds therefore. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Public Services and Finance.
2326, providing for a 5-year validity period of the professional identification cards of all professionals under the PRC. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committee on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
2327, converting the Cotabato Foundation College of Science and Technology in Aracan, Cotabato Interstate University, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2328, reducing food surplus through food donations and food waste recycling and source reduction, establishing national targets and incentives, providing funds therefore. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, and Ways and Means.
2329, an act for extending the period of availment of the estate tax amnesty, amending sections 4, 6, and 8 of RA 11213, the Tax Amnesty Act as amended. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
2330, adapting and regulating the use of digital payment systems for government financial transactions and all merchants. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies and Finance.
2331, mandating the formulation and institutionalization of a comprehensive infrastructure development master plan, establishing the master plan for infrastructure and national development, Mine Council, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Economic Affairs, Public Works, and Finance.
2332, strengthening civic education by integrating the study of the Constitution into the curriculum of basic education and institutionalizing the observance of Constitution Day in schools. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committee on Basic Education.
2333, providing for the regulation, supervision, and professionalization of the practice, licensing, and registration of sanitarians. Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
2334, establishing a national framework for the development, regulation, and operation of facilities utilizing waste to energy and other waste treatment technologies. Senator Soto III.
An act referred to the Committee on Energy, Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2335, establishing in Maramag, Bukidnon, a South Schools Division Office and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Zubiri.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
2336, converting the Mabini Community Hospital in Mabini, Batangas into a specialty hospital to be known as the Batangas Tourism Specialty Hospital. Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2337, integrating the study of the West Philippine Sea into the curriculum of public and private schools to foster patriotism and national awareness. Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committees on Basic Education, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, and Finance.
2338, increasing the amount of taxable income exempt from the income tax and adjusting the graduated income tax rates on individuals, amending section 24A2A of RA 8424, the NIRC of 1997 as amended. Senator Soto III.
Referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
2339, repealing Batas Mamasa 36 or an act imposing an energy tax on electric power consumption. Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means, Public Services, and Energy.
2340, exempting the system loss charge billed to residential end user consumers by distribution utilities or electric cooperatives from the coverage of the value-added tax. Amending Section 109 of RA 8424, the NIRC Code of 1997 as amended. Senator Tulfo E.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means, Energy, and Public Services.
2341, increasing the income tax exemption threshold for individual taxpayers to 600,000 pesos annually. Amending the NIRC of 1997 as amended. Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2342, promoting utility accountability and consumer protection by prohibiting system loss charges. Amending RA 9136 as amended. Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committees on Energy and Public Services.
2343, exempting the sale of electricity from the imposition of value-added tax. Amending the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended. Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means, Energy, and Public Services.
2344, increasing the base exemption for personal income tax. Amending for the purpose Section 24 of the NIRC as amended. Senator Pangilinan.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2345, prohibiting the recovery of system loss charges from the from electricity consumers, amending RA 9136, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Energy and Public Services.
2346, promoting the adoption of residential solar energy systems and for other purposes, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Energy and Finance.
2347, regulating gambling-related advertisements, prescribing penalties for violations, and for other purposes, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media and Games and Amusement.
2348, protecting the personal information and access to or use of digital services of children in the digital environment, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media, Science and Technology, and Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality.
2349, converting the Mabini Community Hospital in Mabini, Batangas into a specialty hospital to be known as the Batangas Tourism Specialty Hospital, Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
2350, an act removing the burden of system loss costs from consumer electricity bills, prohibiting for the purpose distribution utilities from imposing system loss charges on consumers, and removing value-added tax on the sale of electricity that becomes system loss, and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means and Energy.
2351, further extending the period of availment of the estate tax amnesty, amending sections 4, 6, and 8 of RA 11213 and RA 11956, otherwise known as the Tax Amnesty Act, Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2352, establishing a civil service transition and preference program for qualified former members of the AFP, Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
2353, granting bereavement leave of 10 days with full pay to employees in the private and public sectors upon the death of an immediate family member, Senator Legarda.
Oo. Nakita ko may mga na-refer to Ways and Means. Referred to the Committees on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development and Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
2354, amending Section 14 of RA 8491, the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines to authorize environmentally sustainable and dignified methods for the retirement of the national flag, Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Culture and the Arts and Science and Technology.
2355, establishing the Mount Busa Protected Landscape in Sarangani under the expanded National Integrated Protected System Act, providing for its management funds and for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Ways and Means, and Finance.
2356, an act granting a state tax amnesty on unpaid estate taxes and for other purposes, Senator Cayetano P.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2357, an act abolishing the travel tax, Senator Cayetano P.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means, Tourism, and Finance.
2358, mandating the formulation and institutionalization of a comprehensive infrastructure development master plan, establishing the master plan for infrastructure and national development, Mine Council, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Economic Affairs, Public Works, and Finance.
2359, establishing the Philippine Professional Standards and Quality Assurance System, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committees on Higher Technical and Vocational Education and Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
2360, removing the VAT tax treatment of socialized electricity subsidies and statutory charges under RA 9136, amending for the purpose Section 108 of the NIRC as amended and for other purposes, Senator Go.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means and Energy.
2361, providing for additional consumer protection, amending Section 61, 62, and 63 of RA 9136, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, Senator Ontiveros.
Referred to the Committees on Energy and Public Services.
2362, exempting micro, small, and medium enterprises from the payment of minimum corporate income tax, amending Section 27E1 of the NIRC as amended, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means.
2363, mandating the payment of retirement benefits within 30 days from the retirement of an employee, amending Article 302 of PD 442, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development.
2364, establishing the Alay para sa Bayan Solidary Contribution Framework, providing for a crisis-triggered contribution mechanism for high net worth individuals, Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development and Finance.
2365, amending RA 8178 or the Agricultural Tarification Act of 1996 as amended, Senator Lapid.
An act referred to the Committees on Agriculture, Food, Agrarian Reform, Ways and Means and Finance.
2366, strengthening the Polytechnic University of the Philippines as the National Polytechnic University, repealing PD 1341, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Lapid.
Referred to the Committees on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means and Finance.
2367, establishing a national policy for the development, utilization, and commercialization of energy storage systems and for other purposes. Senator Lapid.
Referred to the Committees on Energy, Science and Technology, Ways and Means and Finance.
2368, strengthening the employability, industry readiness, and competitiveness of K-12 graduates through the creation of an Education and Employment Coordinating Council, establishing a national labor market information and skills matching system. Senator Lapid.
Referred to the Committees on Basic Education, Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means and Finance.
2369, defining technology-facilitated violence against women and their children, providing protective measures, prescribing penalties for violations thereof, amending RA 9262, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004. Senator Ontiveros.
An act referred to the Committees on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality and Science and Technology.
2370, strengthening local government participation in energy planning and coordination, amending RA 9136, the PIRA, and for other purposes. Senator Padilla.
Referred to the Committees on Energy and Local Government.
2371, strengthening the rehabilitation and supervision of children exempt from criminal responsibility who commit serious crimes, establishing regional rehabilitation centers for youth, amending RA 9344, the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006 as amended, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Justice and Human Rights, Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality and Finance.
2372, amending Article 126 of PD 442 as amended, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines, to expressly prohibit the issuance of injunctions and temporary restraining orders against wage orders. Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development. Pa-refer ko nga yung bill ko sa yung system loss kasi advanced baka hindi ma-clear.
Can I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session suspended. Resumed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, before we end today's session, I move to elect Senator Francis Escudero, Vice Senator Lito Lapid as member of the Committee on Local Government. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
And also, there's a request by the chairman of the Committee on Local Government, Senator J.V. Ejercito. Maybe tomorrow during our lunch break, we can discuss particularly that issue and the postponement of the barangay and SK elections. He would like to be guided on, his committee would like to be guided, Mr. President, on the decision of the majority of the members.
Yes, we can talk about it in caucus tomorrow during lunchtime. We'll have a lunch break and we'll talk about that so that our chairman of the local government committee will be guided.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, Mr. President, so that we can allow our
Wala na
staff.
additional?
Yes, we can take the other reference of business, take up the other reference of business tomorrow, Mr. President. We're not naman in a hurry. What's important is our staff remain dry and safe and that they can come home before the night falls upon them. Because mahirap na magbiyahe ng baha, lalo na sa gabi, kung wala po kayong sasakyan. So with that, Mr. President, I move that we adjourn session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday, August 18, 2026. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday, August 18, 2026.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.